In the midst of a stunning natural landscape, where the calm waters of a secluded lake meet the towering trees of a distant mountain range, a scene unfolds that disrupts the serene beauty. At the end of a wooden pier that stretches out into the still waters, a figure kneels, her hands bound behind her back, a vivid pink suitcase beside her. The air is thick with tension, a stark contrast to the peaceful scenery surrounding the moment. The woman's head is lowered, but her posture conveys a quiet resolve, as though she is bracing herself for what is to come. The stillness of the lake, the distant mountains, and the soft breeze that moves through the trees all seem to fade into the background, overshadowed by the drama of the situation. At the pier's entrance, a man stands tall, facing the woman. He is dressed in a plaid shirt and denim jeans, his body language tense yet commanding. His outstretched arm, pointing directly at the woman, signifies not just an accusation, but the culmination of a conflict that has led to this very moment. The weight of his action is palpable, and it's clear that whatever has transpired has reached its peak. Behind him, a line of police officers stands in sharp formation, their uniforms crisply pressed and their hands at their sides. They are not just passive observers. They are the enforcers of the law, the boundary between chaos and order, the final line of authority in a situation teetering on the edge. As the woman kneels, her hands restrained, her presence contrasts sharply with the lawmen who have lined the edge of the pier. Their expressions are unreadable, but their role is clear, to ensure that justice is served, whatever that may look like in this tense standoff. The stillness of the scene is broken only by the faint sound of water lapping against the wood of the pier, the occasional ripple in the lake, and the distant hum of boat engines, a reminder that the world beyond this small moment is continuing on, unaware of the drama playing out here. The pink suitcase, placed so deliberately beside the woman, is an odd and striking symbol. Its bold color contrasts with the muted earth tones of the pier and the uniformed officers, making it almost an outlier in the otherwise somber scene. It holds an air of mystery, its contents unknown, but its presence speaks of the fact that this woman was not meant to be here, in this position. It might represent a journey, a past she cannot escape, or perhaps a final act in a story that has been building for longer than anyone could imagine. The suitcase, in its simplicity, carries weight far beyond its size. The boats that float gently on the lake, seemingly unaware of the unfolding drama, create an ironic sense of distance, both literal and emotional. They are the unknowing witnesses to a moment in time where the fate of the woman and the man standing at the pier will be decided. The boats drifting freely represent a contrast to the woman's restrained form, to the tension that has gripped the pier. There is freedom in their movement, yet for the woman and for the man standing with his arm outstretched, the air between them feels suffocating. This is a moment where movement is restricted, where every gesture feels loaded, where every second stretches out longer than it should. The man's position, commanding but distant, adds another layer of complexity to the scene. Is he in control of the situation, or has he become part of something larger than himself? His body language suggests that he is both the instigator and the witness, but his pointed finger implies that he is holding her accountable, placing her at the center of the drama. Is this an act of justice, or is he enforcing a personal vendetta, one that has led them to this point? The ambiguity of his role adds a mysterious layer to the narrative, leaving questions in the minds of the viewers. What is his connection to the woman? What has brought them to this precipice? As the tension mounts, the officers flanking the pier stand as silent arbiters of justice, their presence underscoring the gravity of the situation. They're not just watching, they're a reminder that the law has been set in motion. Their stance is professional, their attention fixed, but the stakes of this standoff are more than just enforcing rules. There is an emotional weight here, one that the officers are part of but not immune to. The reality of the situation, the woman's kneeling form, the suitcase, the pointing man, all of it pulls the officers into the narrative, making them not just enforcers of the law, but participants in a much larger, more complex story. The setting itself, with its mountains and the distant houses that are barely visible through the mist, provides a backdrop that amplifies the tension. The tranquility of the mountains, the calm of the lake, is now tainted by this moment of crisis. Nature, once the serene observer, now feels like an unwilling witness to human conflict. The beauty of the place only serves to highlight the harshness of the human drama taking place. It is as though nature itself is caught between the call for justice and the complexities of human emotion, between the desire for peace and the harshness of reality. What has brought these individuals to this moment? What conflict has led to the woman's arrest, to her being held at gunpoint by an unseen force? Is she a criminal, or is she a victim? Is the man pointing at her someone seeking revenge? Or is he a figure of authority in a world that demands accountability? And what about the officers? What stories have they carried with them to this point? How have they become part of this story, a story whose resolution is uncertain, where the stakes seem both personal and universal? The image is a snapshot of a larger narrative, one that is still unfolding, a tense moment in time that raises questions without answers. As the woman kneels at the edge of the pier, surrounded by the police and the man who points at her, we are left with the question of what will happen next. Will she rise from her kneeling position, or will she be left to face the consequences of a life that has led her to this moment? The stillness of the lake and the quiet of the mountains offer no answers, only the unresolved tension of what is to come. This is not just a story of justice, of a woman and her fate, but a story of choices, of consequences, and of the inevitable intersection of human lives. The tension between freedom and restraint, between authority and defiance, plays out in this small moment, at the edge of the water, where nature itself seems to hold its breath, waiting for the resolution of a drama that, like all human struggles, is far from simple.